James, you can unmute and speak. If you are talking, we are not hearing you. James, can you unmute and speak? All right, let's go ahead. It seems he's having network problem. So anytime you can hear us, James, let us know. Okay, confirm when you can see my screen. Can anyone see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it from this end.
Okay. All right, so as I'm trying to log in. So we are going to look at baseline. Okay, so the question, remember, what is baseline? Remember earlier in one of our questions, I pointed it out that baseline is one of the questions you should expect. So, and it comes this way, they'll ask you what is a schedule baseline, or what is baseline in a schedule. So we always define it as a copy of the schedule that is used as a benchmark to monitor the progress of the project during execution. So it's pretty simple as ABCD. It's just a copy of your schedule that will be used to monitor the project during execution. So PCs have a way of creating the copy and saving it in your system, in your PCs as well, and it will use it to monitor what you are doing during execution. Okay. So we want to look at how do we create it? What is the need for baseline? So basically, the importance of baseline cannot be overemphasized. And one of the primary needs for baseline is this. Let's say, for instance, you're a contractor. And as a contractor, you have a project with your client and you are done with your schedule. You send it to your client and your client approve it. For instance, look at what we have here. We have approved it that this is our working document. This project will start on April 1st and it will finish on July. April 1st, 2025, and it will finish on July 28th, 2026, a year plus some months project. Now we have agreed upon that kickoff meeting will start on the 1st and finish on the 3rd. We agreed. Then we now tell you, okay, you can start the project. And it will be quite unfortunate that within the middle of this month, we now find out that the kickoff meeting, instead of finishing on 3rd, the kickoff meeting will now finish on the 18th of this month. Maybe after you have sent one of your report, first or second report, they realize that the date has shifted. And they will approach you and say, look, I thought this is what we have. What happened? Possibly you will start arguing them and say, no, that is what is there. You did not touch anything. So now, baseline help us to stop those arguments. It helps us to know the deviation. So if you said, no, you did not do anything, they will not kill you. What they need to do is they invoke the baseline. deactivate the baseline and refresh the schedule, you will see the baseline, you will also see the what? Schedule. And it will become obvious that you touch it. So that's the importance of baseline. So baseline helps us to know when we are deviating from what we have planned. It helps us to understand when we are now either we are ahead or we are below our execution plan. So it's a quick measure. We look at it, it's visual something, we'll be looking at it, we'll see the gap. Okay, so that's what we want to look at. How do we create it? So to create the baseline is pretty simple. First thing you do, you click on project. You click on maintain baseline. If you click on maintain baseline, P6 will bring something like this up for you. So you see the projects that you are currently working on. The next thing you need to do is you click on add. When you click on add, the dialog box will appear and see you a question. Do you want to save a copy of this schedule as your baseline? Or do you want to convert another schedule as baseline? You will say, no, I want to save a copy of this schedule as a new baseline. I will click the first one. By default, it's on the first one. I will click OK. You can, when you look at this now, you find out that PCs have created a copy of this schedule for us. You see why we said baseline is a copy of your schedule that will be used as a benchmark to track your project during execution. So now I'm done with creating the baseline. It's just very simple. Click on project, click on maintain baseline, click on add, click on save a copy of this project as a new baseline. Click on OK, and it will bring you here, telling you that you have baseline 1. I now click on close. I've created the baseline. Very simple. Very simple. It's also good you know how to do these things offhand. Sometimes some crazy, before now, when you go for planning interview, they'll first of all call you for oral. After the oral, you go for the practical. So, but these days, because of the online and visual interviews, so a lot of persons, they don't always have patience to start calling you over distance and all the rest. And most of them, they find it difficult to, in fact, they don't appreciate telling you to share your screen and do the work while they are looking at you. So basically what they do is they'll ask you some practical questions to understand if you have used it and if you know it. So somebody can tell you, how do you create and assign baseline? You just want to know if you understand the process. You understand? It's just a way for them to interview you to understand your capability in terms of practical aspects, because they know they may not bother themselves to start inviting you over or start scheduling an online or a visual practical interview for you. And sometimes when they schedule it, people have a lot of reason why they will not do it. Some persons will tell you they can't join with their system. So in fact, they will start giving you a lot of stories. You understand? Some will tell you their system don't have camera. So it simply means they'll be doing it while you won't be seeing them. So most companies cannot control it. So, and then that now result to interviewing in such a way that they will be able to ascertain by your comments if actually you understood what the practical aspect is all about. So, and they might answer you. So it's good you understand the steps to create a baseline offhand. So the next thing is I've created this baseline, I need to assign it. So to assign it, I go back to project, you see assign baseline, I click on it. So when you click on assign baseline, you will see this dialog box will appear. So this dialog box is actually indicating, first thing here is the project. Secondly, you see the project baseline. Which baseline do you want to use for this project? I'll click on it. You see the one I just saved. I will select it. I will select it. I will select it. Okay. The next thing, it will be ask you the primary baseline. Now, this brings us to a question that is common within the business. This question that we ask you, how many baseline is allowed in a schedule? How many baseline is allowed in a schedule? So basically, the answer is simple. You will tell them that in pieces, 3 baseline is allowed. But generally, you can create as multiple baseline as possible. Generally, take note, but in pieces, pieces only accept 3 baseline, which is the primary, secondary, and the tertiary baseline. Then you now concluded by saying this, that after rebaselining a schedule for the 3rd time, if the schedule eventually slip again, it simply means there is a problem with the planning team. It simply means the planning team is inefficient. Take note, you are allowed to baseline your schedule for 3 times. Remember, I said you can rebaseline as multiple times as you want. But in P6, you are allowed to rebaseline for only 3 times. And after that 3 times, if your schedule is slipping again, that requested or required to be rebaselined, it simply means the planning team, not only you, including your project manager, including you as a planner, including your engineers, all the people that are working as a team to deliver that project, excluding the direct workers, those in the field, it shows that you people are not efficient. So take note of that, right? So you can rebaseline the first one, is accepted, we'll call it primary baseline. You rebaseline the second time, we'll call it secondary baseline. The 3rd time, tertiary baseline. And after this, any other 10. In most companies, if you are their contractor and you are rebaselining the 3rd time, they will stop you from executing that project. It means you don't know what you are doing. Most companies will not accept you as a contractor to rebaseline a schedule the 3rd time. Now take note, the question remains, why must we rebaseline a schedule? The answer to that question is this. A schedule is a dynamic entity. It means things must not work the way you plan it. It's also an interview question that we ask you. Have you ever run a project that slipped before? Or have you ever run a project that required rebaselining before? But they normally use the word slip. Have you run a project that slipped before? Please don't tell them no. If you tell them no, automatically they will see you as God. It means you are Jesus Christ. And you being Jesus Christ, it simply means you are perfect. So, and they will be very, very interested to hear, right? Say, yes, you have run a schedule, because everybody knows that it's difficult from a project, you to run a project beginning to end without slippage. It's difficult. It's difficult, sincerely, right? There must be slippage. We are not scared of the slippage. What we do is to recover the schedule. Okay? So now, when you are faced with that question, tell them yes. But tell them, however, that in all the projects you have been involved, that you were able to recover them and also complete the project within schedule. Nothing bad, you telling them there are still some projects you have completed out of schedule, but the project was delivered in line with the project objective. Right? You missed the deadline of the project, but you still delivered in line with the project objective. Simply means that the project objective might be to ensure that there is safety. You deliver on safety. It can also be ensured that you did not exceed the cost. You deliver on cost, but you missed the deadline. It's accepted. So what I'm trying to tell you is this: don't paint yourself as a saint, because everybody understands that projects are dynamic. Okay, so we'll keep the understanding. There are a lot inside rebaselining, right? And why we rebaseline is because project is dynamic and there must be some slippage along the line. What is slippage? Slippage is you plan to do contract award on the 1st of April and finish on the 3rd. And it happens that your manager is out of town right? He has an emergency. He has to step out of town and you couldn't do this contract award. And he's coming back on the 4th, right? So what happened here is that you cannot do the contract award. We wait until his arrival. And on his arrival, we cannot schedule on the 4th. It means contract award as planned have slipped. So the question now remains, what do we do to make sure that contract award did not impact in kickoff meeting that needs to take place on the 3rd? On the 3rd, kickoff meeting needs to take place. What do we do to make sure that it did not impact? So we cannot decide to do contract award and kickoff meeting the same day. So as such, we have still meet up our deadline by finishing contract award and kickoff meeting the same day. So I don't know if I'm making sense. James, you still want to talk? Your hand is still up, or you can take your hand down.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, loud and clear.
Good evening, House. Okay, good evening. Sorry, I was having a that went due. First of all, when I connected, I overheard you saying if anybody has question to ask. I just appeal to you to do a little recap when you finish up with this baseline. At least we didn't start on time with you, so we can get a recap of what you just said. And secondly, I just wish we can get this particular project we are doing, all the activities, so that I can key it on my system to follow our suit. And thirdly, the baseline of a thing. I've not heard of this baseline for this is the first time I heard of the baseline. I wanted to just do a recap on the baseline and also show us how you were able to link this activities to look the way. So this way is looking. These are my questions, and it's an appeal. It's an appeal anyway, please.
Okay. Yeah, so I had your question. So let's start with the first one. The activity, there are 2 videos, about 3 videos I dropped how to create activity. So I started from the beginning to the end. I created all the whole activities, and I did that with 3 different videos. If you go to the platform, you will see it. So that will solve your questions to see how all the whole activities were created, okay? But what I will do is there is an export we did last time when we are looking at converting to PDF. So I will share that export, so you also have it in PDF copy. You can look at it and look at the activity sequence and use it to populate your own and make sure your own is the same as what we have. Then for the second one, the relationship we are looking at, I don't think I did anything differently. Although I have a video on it also that I will post so that you can look at it as well. It's just the same thing we have done in our last class, how to link activity. That's how you see it. So if your own look differently, right? So we can also look at your own and see what make it different, and then we can correlate them while we familiarize ourselves with it and throw more explanation on why it's looking like that. Then lastly, on the baseline, like as I said, we just started the baseline, and we say 2 things we do with baseline is to, first of all, you create a baseline, then you assign a baseline. And on this video, we have created it. And what I'm doing now is to assign it. So I will also cancel the assign and start again. Okay. So the video will also be available for us to review and revisit it at ease. And that's just where we stop. So I just started here. So, but I'm trying to pick some of the interview questions you might see. And so that when you are going for interview, you will also be able to pick most of these questions, and you answer them at ease, because you're looking at how to create baseline and how to assign baseline, and somebody is asking you what is baseline. So, I mean, the question is very simple for you to answer. Or how do you create it, right? If you do it practically, it will sync automatically. So that's why I'm throwing more light on them as we proceed. So that's where we stop. I can see Jude's hand up. So Jude, let's take your question. So just make it brief so that we can achieve.
Okay, sir. So in this baseline, you said that after the tertiary baseline, that no company will accept the project team to continue the prosecution of the project. And in doing
No,
that,
no,
you
no
exempt.
company will accept you. Wait,
We
no
accept.
company will accept you to the baseline again.
Okay. Then in doing that, you exempted the direct workers, but I know that they have an impact towards achieving any milestone. So why should you
No,
exempt them?
I did not exempt them. I said that if after the third rebaselining, right? If after the baselining for the
Yes.
third time and you guys want to baseline again for the fourth time, it shows that the planning team don't know what they are doing. Let me just use that word. They don't know what they are
Okay.
doing. So I said, in those people that don't know what they are doing, the direct workers are not among. Remember, that's why I said the planning team. I did not say all the whole workers. You understand? The
Okay.
planning team, which is those people driving the project, they don't know what they are doing. And in most cases, when you request for the fourth baseline, the company, the client will always, in fact, they have concluded that you can't deliver that project. They'll start looking for another contractor. Okay, so that's the implication of rebaselining. And remember that rebaselining in most cases always come with extension of time. In most cases, you need to shift the goalpost. Now we have agreed to finish this project on July 28, 2026. So if we are rebaselining, it means that this project might be finishing somewhere December. It will be extending the time. And it shows that we don't know what we are doing, because if we have planned very well, we won't be extending the time. Those things that have made us to be rebaselining, we would have figured them out on time and plan for them. I don't know if that's clear.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So now to assign baseline, let me just start afresh to assign baseline. First step, as I said, is you just click on project, click on assign baseline. Under baseline, project baseline, you click on it and you select your baseline. Then under primary baseline, you click on it and you select your baseline also. Then you click on OK. You have assigned the baseline, but we are not seeing it. How do we see it? So for you to see the baseline, some of you, when you assign it, you will see it automatically. Some say, even without assigning it, it's already there. So, but if you're not seeing your own, you go this way, under this area, which is your Gantt chart area, you right click, you click on bar, then you look for your primary baseline. You check your primary baseline. Now, if I check my primary baseline, look at it here, I will check it good to make sure this good is marked. If I mark it good and I click on apply, automatically, let me take it one side, you will see that apply baseline will appear. You can see that there is a double bar in each of these. On the Gantt chart bar, you see that we are having a double bar, one that have a line like a box, right? Or a shaded box, and one that is straight with red color. So the one that have the shaded box is my baseline. You will see that both of them align together. They are the same, which simply means that this is the baseline and the schedule is aligning. Okay. Now, before we proceed, let's just look at how do we format the baseline bar. If I want to change the baseline bar, let's say I want to change the color or the size, I will come here under shape. I will check the shape of my choice. Let me say I want to use a smaller bar. I can come and use this one here. Okay, if I click apply now, you will see it has changed to just a smaller bar. A smaller bar, and the bar is downward. Let me bring it upward. Let me take upward bar. I click apply. I want it to gum. Okay, it's now gumming with each of the Gantt chart bar itself. Then I want to remove the color. I want to change this shaded bar. I want to make the shaded bar just a thick color. I click on thick color and apply it. You see, it's now a black color. I want to change the black color to something like yellow. So let me take yellow here. I click on color. You see the color here. I click on color and I pick yellow. I click on apply. You see my baseline bar is now yellow. So you can change the color to suit your choice. Okay, so why I'm doing this, so that you understand that you can manipulate your baseline, but make sure that your baseline is not red, is not blue, and is not green. Please take note of these three colors. Reason being that in some schedule, you will see green activity or green bar already. Like this one here is red because they are critical. Anyone that is not critical, you see it in green. So if I make my baseline green, you will not recognize or differentiate between the baseline and the one that is not baseline anymore. So that's why it's not supposed to be green. It's not also supposed to be red, because if it's red now, I will not know the one that is baseline and the one that is my main activity, because both of them will be the same. Let me give you an instance. Let me change this to red. So if I click apply now, you find out that I have those two colors. So which now look odd. I may not differentiate. What I'm seeing is just a mark that is differentiating it. So people might not understand that there's a baseline assigned to this project. Okay. So that's why you should be sensitive with the color you are using. Then why is it that we don't want blue? If I update my schedule, the updated side will automatically change its color to blue. So if you change it to blue and I'm using a baseline of blue, both of them will be the same. So that's the three reasons why we don't use blue as baseline, we don't use red, and we don't use green. Take note of it. Okay, so I'm done with this baseline. I just click OK. This is how to assign baseline. Okay. Now, I've assigned a baseline. Let me now tell you the importance of this baseline. Okay. Let's say, for instance, I'm supposed to start this project on the 1st of April, and I started it on the 3rd. Let's see what will happen. This is how to start a project. Okay. And this is what we call the secondary aspect of P6. The secondary aspect of P6 is where you start project, you update project. So we want to update this project now, okay, manually. So I will come down here, I'll click on project status under this detail bar. I click on project status. Under project status, I will come, this is when this project is planned to start date. I will come here and click on this box to bring out the calendar, and I will select on the 3rd. Instead of starting on the 1st, it's now starting on the 3rd, okay? I will click on 3rd. I don't want this to show again. I'll click don't. Then I'll click OK. Now, watch. You find out that my baseline has moved. Can you see it? Automatically, the baseline has shifted. The activity has shifted from the baseline. Okay, so I now start this project. I say start. And I finish this project. That's why I say finish. If I schedule this project, anybody that comes here, we automatically know that something happened. Watch. Anybody that comes here, we know that, look, I actually baseline to start on the 1st. But I couldn't start on the 1st. I now started on the 3rd. You see, the baseline have shifted. And you also find out that this particular contract award have turned to blue. Why? Because it's now 100% completed. So if I did not finish it, let me do it 50% completed. I unfinish it. I change this percent to 50. So you find out that you will now have green and blue color. You will now have green and blue color automatically. So the green color is the 50% I've done, and the blue color is the 50% that I've done, and the green color is the outstanding 50%. So this is why I said don't use blue as a color. I also said don't use green as a color, because if you update it, the updated part will change. And this is where someone can now say, okay, look, you are behind. Now let's go and interpret this again. On our project, we plan to start the first activity here on the 1st. But you can see we are now starting on the 3rd, okay? Now the start date have also changed. But let's now bring out the baseline date. You will find out that the baseline date will not change. So somebody like your client will be interested to be seeing the start date, the baseline start and the baseline finish date. But note, this particular finish date here is what we call the focus finish date. The normal finish date here, you'll be hearing focus finish date. This is the focus finish date. And this is the start date. This one will tell you when the project started actually. And you also see A attached to the front of any activity that has started. So it simply means I have started this activity. It's actual. Then if I want to bring out the baseline finish date to know whether I started when I plan to start, if you can't interpret it from this Gantt chart, you can also interpret it from the table. So let me bring out the baseline start and finish date. I will right click here. I will click on column. I will go to date. I will activate date. I will check my primary baseline. You will see it. Primary baseline is BL. Or you can take baseline 1 and baseline 2. They are the same. So let me take start. Let me also look for BL finish. So I'll click apply. I will say okay. So now let's compare this. Let's compare this. My baseline start date is 1st. Can you see it here? It's 1st of March. My actual start date is 3rd. Okay. My baseline finish date is 3rd of April, right? But now my focus finish date is now 9th of April. So this particular contract award will not finish on the 3rd as planned. So it's gonna finish on the 9th. So that's just the interpretation. So this is what planners do during tracking. So during tracking, this is what you will do, right? When somebody now asks, what is the focus finish date? This your finish date is your focus finish date. You now say, okay, yes, we are supposed to start contract award on the 1st of April according to our baseline. But however, we started on the 3rd. And currently our focus finish date is now 9th of April instead of 3rd as planned. You understand? So you're able to interpret this, that baseline is how you have planned it. And there is a deviation, right? If you started earlier, your baseline will also indicate that look at when you plan to start. And your actual, which is your start date, will not tell you when you started. And you also see your focus, which is telling you when you will likely finish. Okay? So I don't know if there's any question here. This is just a little secondary aspect. I just chip in this so that we'll all have a little balance on what baseline is doing. James, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. First, I think James, I know you are also considering time factor, but you are too fast today, very fast. And secondly, what if you start on the 1st, and if you start on the 1st and maybe finish on the finish date, is there any need for the baseline? Will you still include baseline? What would the baseline look like? Assume there is no deviation.
Okay, so these are the
What would the
things.
baseline?
This is basically what you can now practicalize and play around. Okay, remember what I said. You just play around with all these things. So now, if you are starting the same day you plan, your baseline and, okay, let's do it. Let me revert this and let's do what you said. You will find out that everything will remain as planned. You will see it, everything will just align, okay? So I just removed it now. I will go and reschedule this. So my date here is not changing. It's still on the 3rd. Okay, so what I need to do is I will go back to this project and I will say project start. I will go back to projects and I will activate project start to start on 1st of April. That will return that date to start to April 1st. So this is the project I'm working with. I will go to the date. I will say my start date is April, okay? Then my data date is April 1st. Okay, supposed to move. Why is it not moving? Okay. Let's say April 1st, this is when this is starting. And I click on it here, start. Then let's assume we have done 50%. I enter 50% here. Okay. So I enter 50%, I reschedule. So James, can you look at the screen now? You will find out that under here, we plan to start on the 1st, and we started on the 1st. Then we are supposed to finish on the 3rd as our baseline, but we have done 50% already. We'll finish on the 2nd. So there's actually an issue with my PC, so I need to correct it. It's not actually aligning with the date. So I will correct that so that I know I've identified this in our last class, but I haven't been able to look at it. So it's actually a date issue. So my date is counting on days, 24 hours instead of using our normal calendar. So I just need to align it. It's a resource calendar that is pointing at. So James, you can see this now. You can see this, that within this, let me push this forward. So you find out that, look at where we are. So everything is just aligning within that particular location. But however, my date here, this activity, green here is supposed to turn to blue, and half of it, but because of that date is not actually showing. So if you work in line with your plan, nothing will change. It will just remain the same. It will remain the same. You find out that all the bars will just remain the same way you have planned it. Automatically, it will remain the same, so nothing will change. That's just one of the advantage of using it. So James, I don't know if that's have answered your question. So if you started earlier, it will also change, indicating that you started earlier. The baseline is just going to the yellow color will remain the same way it is, which is your baseline. What is changing is the red color. That's what is changing, telling us how you are doing on real time, how you are updating the schedule on real time. If you are doing well or you are not doing well, people can now start answering questions. What happened? Right? Why are you behind schedule? Or why are you not doing well? So you now have explanation around it, because this is what you are going to defend the meeting. So as a planner, you'll be the custodian of all the meeting. So as you are going for meetings, these are the things you'll be looking at, because these are the questions that we ask you. If somebody is now asking you, look, why did we start this activity early? Like here now, you can see that the activity was started earlier. So you can now explain, say, yes, we started it earlier because we have enough material and the resources available. There's no need to start waiting again. We just kickstart. And because of that, we are going to finish ahead of schedule. Very simple. So as a planner, this is what you will be explaining during your meetings. So James, your hand is still up. Is it a new hand or the old one?
You haven't explained the link, the link between the how the critical parts, the critical, is it the critical part or the diagram or graph is going through? I don't understand it, because I'm seeing my own is showing green and a bit red, but not expanding
Okay,
this way. This one is
you'll be
expanding.
doing to us, and try your best and be joining early. If you join early, we covered this in our last 2 weeks Thursday, when somebody asked this question. We differentiate between the green and red, and we said the critical part are on green. All these ones I have here, the critical part are on red. All these ones are critical activity. And we also explain the meaning, that it means that if we delay any of these activities on red, we are not going to finish this project the day we have planned to finish it. If we delay for 1 day, we'll add additional 1 day to the finish date. If we delay it for 2 days, we'll add additional 2 days to the finish date. That's the meaning of all this red activity. And we said it's a critical activity. And how we identify them is that they are on red color. One, and secondly, they have zero float. And we said we have another set of activity that is on green color. The green color means non-critical. It means they don't have zero float. They can have 1, 2, 10, 20, 30 float. And each of these float determines how long, how many days you will delay them without affecting the finish date of the project. So I took my time to explain this in detail during that class. So possibly, I think I haven't been able to upload the video. I will try my best tomorrow morning to upload all those videos. So take your time, go through them. You will understand all these aspects of critical activity. The day we actually discuss about some interview questions, I explained critical activity very well. Okay, and this is the practical. And I think in our last class, I started with it as well to explain it in terms of practical. That is the longest part of the schedule that contains all the critical activity, because it's an interview question and you must note down this, right? And we identify them in their colors. They are always on red color. That's how you identify critical activity. Secondly, on the table, if I bring out my grandchild, if I bring out my float now, remember, if you want to bring out any column, the same process, click on column. But what you need to do is to find where they are. If you don't know their name, you can easily you can easily search for it. Like I want to bring out float. Let's assume I don't know where float is. I can click here and press Ctrl F. I will put float. I just want to confirm if those activities on red are critical. So you can see baseline float is not what I'm looking for. I just need free float and total float. So you can see the free float, I bring it out. I will also look for the total float. I also explained the difference between free float and total float that day. So I will move it to the bottom after our baseline. So for free float and total float, free float is the amount of time you can delay an activity before it affects the next activity. Total float is the amount of time you can delay an activity before it affects the entire project. So now look at this. This is number one. You find out that kickoff meeting have zero float. And because you have zero float, it means that is what? A critical activity. It means if you delay this kickoff meeting, it will affect site visit. Not only site visit, it also have a total float of 0. That means if you delay it, it will affect this finish date of June 23rd, July 23rd will be shifted. If you delay it for a day, it will be shifted by 1 day. You delay for 2 days, you shifted by 2 days. That's the meaning of this free float and total float 0. But if you have total float 0, it means if you delay it, it will affect the finish date of the project. While for free float, if you have free float 0, it means if you delay it, it will affect the next activity. Then if both of them are 0, 0, it means any delay, it will affect the project finish date. It's just as simple as that. James, I don't know if that's clear. That's the explanation.
Yeah.
Around.
So the float means 0. Means
The float, you can
0
see a
float.
number there. You can see a number. If you see 1 there, let's say you have 1 on free float, it simply means that you can delay this activity 1 day without affecting the next activity, which is site visit. That's what it means. If you see 5 in free float, it means you can delay this activity for 5 days without affecting the next activity, which is procurement of spool. That's the meaning. But when you see 0, it means you cannot delay it. You understand now?
Yeah.
James, I don't know if that's clear.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, float is just like an allowance, how long you can play around if you did not do the activity. But when it's 0, you cannot play around anything. Okay, so this is basically how to create and assign baseline. So any other question here? So let's move to the next. Let's move to the next key thing we want to look at today. So there's what we call activity code. So activity code is very important in schedule building. Okay. So if you are developing your schedule, activity code is very important. And what is activity code? It's a unique code given to WBS or individual activity for easy identification. Mainly when we are working on integrated schedule. What is an integrated schedule? It's a schedule, right, that involves different parties It requires different parties developing individual schedule and later bringing it together to integrate it to form one schedule. Let me give you an example. There will be, you can be in a project whereby, let's assume the Train 7 project in Bonny Island. This project is being championed by the WHO. Okay, Saipan. Okay, then Saipan now collaborate with the WHO. So inside the WHO and Saipan, they have thousands of subcontractors supporting them. So each of these subcontractors have small scope, but they will all bring it together. And the WHO and Saipan will come together and integrate their schedule inside one schedule to deliver that one project called Train 7. So now, all the schedule you are bringing, somebody will sit down and integrate it. And we call it an integrated schedule. There was a project I was involved with, that should be 2019. That project was to build a massive, but just one-story building, but it's a massive one. It's very large. It has zone A, B, C, and D, including E, with a central lift. Okay. Now, this project was given to 3 contractors. The first contractor is dealing with the civil scope. They are the ones to do the foundation clearing, laying of block, and plastering, and lintel, including roofing. The second contractor is dealing with electrical and mechanical works. They are dealing with all the whole electrical fittings, all the whole piping, plumbing fittings, all the whole installation of HVAC, all these FANCON units, extractors, and all the rest, including the lift. That's what the second contractor is dealing with. While the third contractor is dealing with finishing. So everything about painting, installation of windows, doors, right? Installation of ceilings, that's what they are dealing with. So now, out of these 3 contractors, one of their planner will become the integrated planner. So what he will do is to collect the scope and the schedule from each of these contractors and integrate them into one schedule. And we call it an integrated schedule. So now, for ease of executing this integrated schedule, you need an activity code. So with activity code, you can have a schedule that have about 10,000 activity. You will decide to call up any activity at ease. You just filter the code for that activity. If you want to call up procurement, you can just filter PRO as procurement. You see all activity associated with procurement will appear. So that is the reason for activity code. I don't know if anyone needs more clarity on activity code, so I can move ahead with the practical aspect of it. Are we good with activity code? So can I proceed? A code used for ease identification of a task or activity in a schedule is called activity code. Okay, so now let's start the practical. Now, to create activity code, first thing you need to do is you will create the activity code and you assign it. Now, look at what we are going to do in our case. In our case, we have 5 WBS. Let me minimize to level 2 WBS. I want to collapse to level 2 WBS. So this is level 2 WBS. So I will create an activity code that have each of these levels. So the goal here is I want to see only procurement. I don't need to start opening all of them or start scrolling down. I will just activate a filter to filter only procurement from me. And how will I do it? I will put a code in procurement. And as soon as I filter procurement, everything about procurement will come out. So with this activity code, you can be able to filter procurement in contractor 1, procurement in contractor 2, and procurement in contractor 3. So when somebody will ask you, when is all the procurement in this project coming in? You will not start calling the second contractor on phone. You will just look at their schedule and you just look at the integrated schedule and activate a filter to filter only procurement. So everything procurement, despite whosoever that own it, whether contractor 1, 2, or 3, will come out. You can now look at it and say, our procurement activity, all of them, is meant to arrive to so and so time. Look at when we are finishing procurement. That is the need for activity code. So to go ahead with it is, one, I just want to explain that what I'm going to use as my basis is this WBS, general, and I will use an abbreviation GEN, PRO for procurement, MOB for mobilization. Then for site works, I will just classify everything in site works as site works. I don't want to reintegrate it. Why? The mob and closure, I will just put it as the mob. Okay, so that's all. So to create activity code, I will click on enterprise. I will click on enterprise and I will click on activity code. So you can see activity code has appeared. So this activity code is asking me, did I want to create it global? Do I want to create it in this EPS or do I want to create it in this project? So for me, basically, I want this project only in this project, please. That's where I want to create my activity code. Okay. So now, next thing I need to do here is I'll click on project. So if I click on project, I click on modify. Modify will come up and click on add. So add will come up, I will add. So what am I going to use to hold this activity code? So basically, I will just give it a name, right? I will give it, let's say project code. Let's say project code. So sometimes some people will say department. If you are going to classify, some will say contractor. If you want to create an activity code to know the different contractor activity, you can put contractor. So whereby under the contractor one, you just type their name, right? If you want to know maybe just one company, but different department is working together, so you can put department, right? Under that department, you can now put the names of those departments, okay? Then you can also do it in terms of the field or the area, something like instrument, mechanical. You want to know all mechanical scope, all civil scope, all those, you can do it like that. So all depend, but this one, I just want to use the project breakdown, okay? So that's why I'm saying project code. Under project code, I click add, next thing I will close. So I've closed it. So now when you close it, you find out that you have your activity code here. I'll now start adding the breakdown. First thing I will add is general. So under the code, I will just add GEN for general. Then under description, I will put general. So the second one here, I will just add, I will add procurement, PRO for procurement. And under here, I will put procurement. So remember, I'm just using this as a sample. I will click on add again. Under this, I will put mobilization. I will put mob, then why under here, I will put mobilization. So the next one I will add is site works. So here I'll put site, and here I'll put site works. Then the last one is the mob. While here I'll put the mob and closure. So I'm done creating the activity code. So you can see creating the activity code is pretty simple. The basic thing there is understand what you want to use as the code and the title you want to give them. In my own case here, I give it project code as a title. Then what I want to use is the breakdown of each of these sessions. Then I'll click on close. Next thing is to assign it. So for me to assign it, I need to go and I will need to insert a column called this project code. So instead of having total or having baseline activity, we have another one called project code. So that's what I will use to assign it. So I'll right click here. I will go to column. I will now go to user define because I'm the one that defined this now. Sorry. I will go to code, activity code. Yeah. I'll go to activity code. You see it here. The project code I created, you can see it here. Let me move it to the end. I will click apply and I will click OK. So I will now go inside each of them. Let me expand all. I right click and I select expand all. So I will start from the first one here. I will assign general to it. Nothing is here. I will click down here. So please take note in case when you finish your own, you not see anything. Please take note. It's very simple. What you need to do is click on this display, this arrow here. It will bring down this. You say filter and you say filter all. It will bring all of them out. So I will assign general. So you can see I have general here for this general. I can come down here and autofill. Okay, let me just assign all of them. I will click here and I will assign it. I'm done. So for procurement now, I just need to assign PR or procurement. Okay. So the next one here is for mobilization. I need to assign mobilization. So I can do what we call fill down. Fill down, I've assigned the first one. I click on the next ones I want to fill down, hold down my shift key and I press enter. I right click and I say fill down. Fill down will just fill this thing down instead of doing it one after the other. Please take note of that. Let me also use the fill down here. I want to fill everything in SiteWorks as SiteWorks. So I will come here, I will select the first one, activate it, click on the SiteWorks. Then I will go to the last one. I will scroll down to the last one where I want to stop. I want to stop here. I will click on, I will hold down my shift key. I will click on the last one. Everything will be selected. I will right click and I will say fill down. So it will just fill down as SiteWorks. So I will go to the mobilization and I will assign the mob. So I will put the mob and I will also do the same thing. I will click on the last activity. Hold down shift key, click on last activity, right click, and I select the mob. I right click and I say fill down, and everything will go. So I have assigned my activity code. So you can find out that assigning activity code is pretty simple. Okay. So the question remains, why do I need to do all this? Why am I wasting my time? Now, with a smaller schedule, you might not know the importance of activity code. But when you are dealing with a big schedule, you will understand the importance. There was one of my students that started the project, a new position with Megastar. So he was sent to Bayelsa State. The schedule he's managing is about 10,000 and something activity. So let's assume we are in his case and we want to find one particular activity. So it means we'll start scrolling down 10,000 activity to search for one activity. So, but with activity code here, you can easily do what we call filter and you get it. Let's say, for instance, I want to filter the mobilization. I don't need to scroll down to the last activity to start seeing my demobilization. So all I need to do is activate my filter here. You can see filter here. I click on filter. Filter will come up. So under filter now, I'll say, okay, look, what do I want to filter? I'll say, let me create my own filter. I click on new. I say, I want to filter activity code or project code. I will look for my project code. See project code where project code is equals to, I can now select the mobilization. I will click add. I will click OK. Then you will see it here. I can change the name. Sorry, let me change the name. Let me say project code. Let's say filter. Filter by project code. I'll just give it a name. I want to. So now I will activate it and I will click apply. So you only see, look, everything has disappeared. You are only seeing everything that have the mobilization. You can see the advantage of activity code. It does not matter how many activities that you have here. If you have 1 million activities, the only thing, it will hide all of them and show you only the WBS, and only the activity you will see is those activities that have that code. So this is a very great advantage of using activity code. So it does not matter what you have in your space. Your manager can walk in. Please, Mr. John, I want to see all the procurement activity. You don't need to start sorting, filtering, or start copying and or pasting or start gathering it. No, you just come here, go to your filter, look at the filter box up here, you click on it, go to where you have created your activity code. Like here, I have my project code, I edit it, I say modify. Now I'm taking only mobilization. I cannot come, I said no, I need only procurement. I click on procurement. This is what my manager wants to see. I say okay, I activate it, apply. It will change. Only 2 items is here now for me. I can print this and send to my manager that this is the procurement item. He cannot look at the procurement date, look at the progress, and anything he wants to look at. So this is the need for activity code. I don't know if there's any question. I hope I'm not still fast. James, am I still fast?
Yes, so thank you. Yes.
But is it entering? The most important thing is for you to understand the basic, right? Remember, at the beginning of this class, I stated it that we can put only 30% in you. Sometimes we might not even put up to 30%. But the great work depends on you going back on your own quiet time to do it. The more you start doing it, you will have a lot of questions. And most of you that are answering questions in the class, you'll find out that it's due to the fact that you are trying it. You understand? So the more you start doing it, you have a lot of questions. You also have a lot of things that we did not touch that you can revalidate. Okay? Like I just mentioned filter. Filter has a lot of things to filter. Okay, so let me deactivate this filter. If you want to deactivate the filter, you just click on this all activity. You click here, all the whole filter you have activated will disappear. Now, if for instance, your manager comes in and said, I want to see only the critical activity. So by default, PCs have a critical filter. All you need is to look for it and you activate it. Okay, I will look for the critical activity here. You see this filter, look at the critical. So if I activate this filter now, critical, apply, all the whole critical activity, although all my activities are critical, so all of them will be displayed. You understand? So if I want to see non-critical, look at non-critical, those that are not critical, I activate it, remove critical, and also remove, okay. Yeah, I click on apply. So you see, I don't have any non-critical activity. Okay, I have only one. And why this one is non-critical is because I have progressed it. If I haven't progressed it, it shouldn't be non-critical. You see, nothing was displayed because all my activities are critical, except this one, because I've progressed it. So as a matter of fact, it's no longer a critical activity. It's assumed, this is assuming that you have executed. Okay, so if you want to know the projects that are ongoing, I want to check ongoing. I'll just go under here and I will say in progress. So I will filter for in progress. Let me see if I can see in progress. Yes, in progress. You see it here? So you find out that it will only give me that one. Okay, it's like I have even completed it. So it's not giving me the general. It's like we completed that activity. So I don't have any activity in progress. In progress means ongoing. It has started. Okay. So if you want to filter completed, you see completed here, just to know the activity that I have completed. It's showing me only this one. It's telling me that contract award has been completed. You can see it here. Contract award has been completed. That's what it's telling me. Okay. So basically, you cannot see how sometimes somebody will tell you how do you generate a report. So if in your reporting, you are asked to display all the whole activities that has been completed, you see, you can just use this filter and do it. Okay. So another thing we will learn about filter is how to filter for look ahead, but it's not going to be today. There's what we call 2 weeks look ahead and 1 week look ahead, even 1 month look ahead, right? So a little bit explanation about look ahead is, as a planner, you are the torchlight of the team, as well as the watchdog of the team. It means anything you are not seeing, the team is not seeing it. And that's why you are not involved in the job, in execution. You don't go to site and start doing the work. You sit down on your system and review your plan and re-strategize and call your project management team and discuss with them, and you guys will go ahead and implement. So every week, you need to give them a look ahead. A look ahead is just like what they are going to do for that week, so that they will not be doing anything that comes to their mind or anything that is available. No. Last year, I joined a new team last year, December. These guys, they actually plan to deliver about 72 milestones. Milestone is just a breakdown of different projects, but it has been calculated that each of these inside the project, look at how we are going to execute it on phases. So each of the phases is a milestone. And after everything is about 14 projects, and we generated 70 something milestones. Do you know that these guys, they started the execution from January to December? I joined them that December. So when we are trying to evaluate, they completed 76 jobs, 76 milestones. Out of these 76 milestones that was completed, they planned 72, but completed 76. But out of these 76, the only one from the plan they have made is 21. 55 milestones was generated along the line within the execution month. It was not planned at the beginning. At the beginning, they planned to do 72. But at the end of December, they finished 76. But inside the 76, 55 of it was not included in what was planned. It means anybody that is walking along the road, you just generate one milestone, you complete, and you report that I finished that job. But you did not plan for it. It's not part of your target. It's not part of the plan at the beginning of the year. So it means that if you are to score them, if you do 21 divided by 72, you find out that they did not pass. But they were able to complete 70 something. So reason be that they are doing a job, good and fine, but it's not part of the target for that year. It's not part of the milestones for that year. So in order to avoid things like this, that people are working without direction, anything you see, you just do a report, and we are doing well, we are doing well. But it's not part of our plan. It's not leading to the business. It's not contributing to the success of the project. But they are working. So you must give them look ahead. So you give them 1 week look ahead. That will tell them what they will do for that 1 week. You also give them 2 weeks look ahead. That will be telling them what they will do in the next 2 weeks. You can also give them 1 month look ahead. That will be telling them what they will be doing in the next 1 month. And when you come to project manager's office, you will see them. They will paste the P6 printout of this look ahead on the dashboard. So that whosoever that come there, or during your standing meeting, there's what we call, sometimes we call it team brief meeting. You just come to site, or you come to the office, you stand up, everybody just look at what we have in the plan and how we are doing, right? You see the project manager pointing at it. This activity should proceed. This one should step down. We are going to do this because of this. We don't have material. Let's proceed with this. So they will use those look ahead. They'll use those look ahead to focus on what they are doing. And if they are not working with the look ahead, you need to try your best to redirect them, because the look ahead is just like a roadmap that you guys need to follow to execute that project on schedule. Okay, I will leave the floor open for questions at this point. I just keep in look ahead. Please note, we are going to do it, how to generate look ahead using activity, using filter. But basically today, we just want to harmonize ourselves with this. So this is basically the basic of P6, right? We have closed out the basic of P6. The next thing we'll be looking at is our S-curve and how we track our projects. So we'll look at S-curve and how we track our projects. So I don't know if there's any question. Jude, are you with us?
Yeah, yes, I'm with you.
I hope it's not
I will say
point.
that the class is getting interesting by the day, but then today's class will need time to digest it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
There's nothing convincing yet.
All right. James, I hope we are still in track.
I think
Yeah, James, go ahead.
what he says is the truth. I think Jude said exactly my mind, you know. He's getting interested even with your speed. And sometimes you'll be explaining, your cursor will not be moving, and you know, or network will be just frustrating it, but you wouldn't know. But I think you need time to digest it, to look into it over and over, and see,
Okay.
bring it into our
Okay,
memory.
yeah.
It's quite
Yeah, so
interesting.
that's interesting. So you can now, like, from what most of the things I explained, you can now see you start feeling the impact of a planner now, right? Yes. So I don't want to
Yes.
dive in so much
Additionally,
on the secondary.
yeah,
Go ahead.
additionally, sir, additionally, I just wish you could just upload this thing sequentially. The videos you've got uploaded sequentially, so that or going through them, we'll know that this after this after this after this.
I think, yeah,
As you
that's exactly
upload it.
what I'm doing. I'm even doing them on a brief videos. Like the ones I did today, the ones I sent across today was just how to add activity and how to add duration, right? So the other ones I will forward them tomorrow morning, including the past two summary video. So now there are two things I'm doing. The recording for the class is there, so you can go through it. So, but I find out that most people are not going through it due to the length. And each time I want to break it, it's always difficult to start sitting down to watch it and start editing it. So what I'm doing is I will post the video for the class good, but I'm breaking the classes into different sessions, and you also see them like the one I posted that will tell you how to create activity, how to add duration, and how to, you see all those ones are just 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The maximum should be 8 minutes video. Okay, so those ones are pretty simple to follow suit. So that's how I'm doing it now. Okay, so but always remember, right, that we have covered the basic. With that basic of pieces, you can do planning job. Take note of that. You can do planning job with the basics of pieces. So now anything you are adding in the secondary aspect of pieces, right, is familiarity and equipping yourself to actually um, equip yourself with enough knowledge so when you go in, you will not struggle a lot. Okay, so but with the basis alone, you can do planning job. It's simple as ABCD. So this secondary aspect of it is good, you get the knowledge. It's also good you practice and you understand it, but it's not a yardstick for you to get job. Most people learn the secondary aspect on this job. That's when they learn it. So when they get the job and they tell them to send the report, you see them, they will start calling, and when you show them what to do, you see they have mastered it, right? So, but I always try my best to show my students these things ahead of time, right? So that if you are calling for support, it should be a reasonable support, not to do the minor thing. So in our next class, we'll just see how we can focus more. I will deviate from this, we'll just push over to SCOF, right? When we are done with SCOF, we'll come back again on this. So I will look at how to update schedule, how to interpret the progress of a schedule, right? Then how to now update the PMS that we are the SCOF that we are going to do. Okay. So I will try as much as I can because we need to, in 2 weeks time, we're supposed to get to the end of this class. So, but our advisors, the assignment that I talked about, let's see how we can progress that assignment. Remember, the key to succeed is by doing. It's not by copying notes or writing notes, but by practicing it. In practicing it, you will make a lot of mistakes and you will learn at the end. And that's just the key. Okay. And you also have a lot of questions. Yeah. And even at the end of this class, the class has not finished. I will also be sending some projects on the platform and I will ask you to replicate them. And the more you do them, the more you have advanced knowledge and the more you standardize yourself, and that's all. Okay. So with this primary aspect we have learned, if you can do it very well, and the next thing is the escort we are going to start in our next class. If you can do those two very well, you are good for any practical interview. You are also good for any planning job. Every other thing we can connect online to resolve it. But I will also do well to explain the secondary aspect for us so that we'll get a balanced knowledge. So, but I'm just trying to let you know that if you can put in activity in a schedule, you can baseline it, you can link it, add duration, create resources, assign resources, add cost. You are in fact, you are a wonderful planner. In your practical, that's the maximum thing they can ask you. It's the highest they can ask you. Nobody will ask you anything aside that in practical interview. And the next thing they can ask you is to do a score. And that's why we are going to take that in our next class. So, James, if your hand is up for question, you can ask. Other than that, we want to draw the curtain at this point, so we can go and digest what we have learned, and also prepare to do the assignment.
Okay. Thank you so much.
We can't hear you.
Thank you very much, James. Even though you didn't give me explanation on how to link the link my this thing, my critical parts, but I'll still die and do more.
Let me
try
ask. Let me ask. Hold on. Let me ask. Were you in the class when we did linking?
The line is breaking.
I said, were you in the class when we learned about linking of a?
No.
Hello.
No. I wasn't in the class. The line is breaking, sir.
Okay, so I will try and share that video tomorrow. So please go through the video. Linking of activity is one. We don't have how to link critical activity. Yours is just link all your whole activity. Those that will fall in the critical part will fall. You are not the one that will make them fall. Just do your linking. Okay. When you reschedule, you see those that belong to the critical part will be red. The ones that are not, they will be green.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Okay, thank you. No wahala.
Yeah. So linking is one. We don't have types of linking. It's just one. So I will post the video tomorrow. Just do well and go through it. Then do your linking and send it across. That's all. So please, the assignment I'm giving, right? Please, I want to see it in a progressive manner as we are doing it. Please, let's be submitting it. It's very important, right? It gives us age to understand where we are and also to know the gap we need to close. Abayomi, are you still with us? I haven't heard from you today.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I hope everything is calm, right? You are good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all right.
Okay. All right, guys, let's have a nice day. See you guys on Thursday.
All right, good night. Oh.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, my Lord. We are saying thank you, Jesus. Thank you, my Lord. And mommy, God bless you. We are saying thank you. This will listen, Jehovah boy. You know, just need to stress yourself. Check out this. You are going forward, forward ever. Make every crooked way set right. It is forward ever, backward never. You are going forward, forward ever. Hey, for the Lord has gone ahead of you. Make every crooked way set right. To gaskiya wannan dai rayuwar bai ba rayuwa mai kyau ba ne. To shi ƙauyenci wani sa'in jahilci ne a ƙalubalen girman Allah yadda ya rike na dole ita ce ta masa. Ana so to gaskiya wannan dai rayuwar bai ba rayuwa mai kyau ba ne. To shi ƙauyenci wani sa'in jahilci ne a ƙalubalen girman Allah yadda ya
Let me close this laptop.
They have saved it.